Well, we are now joined by Dr. Uazuva Kaumbi, the advisor to the acting paramount chief, Vipuira Kapuuo. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Raymond. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, I guess for a lot of us, some of us not so intimate with developments in your tribe, can you locate the procedural issues that are being contested right now?
Yes, thanks, Raymond. It's fairly straightforward in terms of the customary law. What happens is that we have the most senior chief, who's the chairperson of the Chiefs Council, in this case, Vipuira Kapuuo, who, in terms of customary law, historically since 1863 already, when the position of the paramount chief was actually established for the first time, who actually acts in the interim, from the passing of the paramount chief until the new chief, paramount chief is actually designated and coronated. So what happens that in this case, then he has always insisted that he, as the chairperson, will convene a properly constituted Chiefs Council, and then ultimately the Senate meeting is actually at the Senate meeting, properly constituted, where the new paramount chief is then first, of course, elected and then designated, allowing all the Onḓerombapa people then to participate through their elected representatives at the Senate meeting. Yes.
There was already a transitional committee that was constituted.
Yes.
Why was it the red flag not raised in that time?
It was. There are a lot of letters were written. Chief Kapuuo wrote letters to warn them that, look, this transitional committee is not properly, is not the instrument that should be used in this instance. That he, as the chairperson of the Chiefs Council, is the person who must call these meetings. And we know that the transitional committee was set up under the guise that it will actually be responsible for the logistical arrangements for the funeral of the late paramount chief, Shitambi, Advocate Vipuira Kapuuo. And then somehow it evolved into a transitional committee to be responsible for the interim affairs of the Onḓerombapa people, and actually also then calling the purported Chiefs Council meeting in Onḓerombapa in December last year, and now also this purported Senate meeting now taking place as we speak in Amino is also in Onḓerombapa. And letters are there to that effect, actually warning them.
Okay.
And then the chief also wrote a letter actually also to the minister to say, look, these are activities that are taking place contrary to customary law. And when all these letters were ignored, that is when then, as the last resort, the chief, Vipuira Kapuuo, then decided to lodge this application for review in the High Court of Namibia on Thursday. Yes.
Okay, so what is the messaging right now? What are the particulars that you'd like to communicate to members of the Onḓerombapa?
Yeah, the message is very clear. You say, look, ignore what is happening on Onḓerombapa. There's no designation taking place. These meetings are not properly constituted in terms of our customary law. And of course, because the matter is sub judice, is in front of the courts now, we cannot go into the details of the case. But all we can say is that whatever the outcome is in Onḓerombapa, it's really an exercise in futility. It will have no force and effect. And the Onḓerombapa people must just remain calm, because the legitimate acting paramount chief, who is the chairperson of the Chiefs Council, will call in due course a properly constituted Chiefs Council and a properly constituted Senate, where then this matter will be finalized. But before then, we all know that our paramount chief has not been finally buried yet in terms of our customs as well, that his tombstone is still covered. So that has to be unveiled, and then the idea is that on the anniversary of his funeral, or rather, of his burial, on the 18th of July this year, there will be an unveiling. So then in terms of custom, then that will be the final burial of our chief. And then only then can you really talk about succession. So which means that even what is happening in Onḓerombapa in terms of customary law is actually a desecration. It's a sacrilegious, that you're already talking about a successor while the previous person is still not yet properly buried. So those are the messages that we want our people to hear, that ignore whatever noise there's just a lot of smoke and mirrors and noise that is happening there.
So there was going to be a nomination scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning. Is that ignored?
No. I mean, I don't know where that news came from, at the Red Flag Commando or something. Or which one are you talking about? It on Onḓerombapa or something?
Yeah, well, it appears that.
Yeah, no, I think there was a story. There was a news bulletin, I think, on the NBC online bulletin. I don't know where they got that story from, but I think we talked to the guys at NBC. I think they got it from Nampa and also from other sources. There's nothing like that. What is happening today at the Red Flag Commando number 2 in Windhoek is purely an official opening, because remember the commando was renovated, and so today is actually just an official opening for the commando year today. So there will just be a festivity this year. I think there will be some food eaten, and so there will just be festivities and merrymaking today. There will be no nomination. The only nomination, as I said, will happen at the Senate that will be properly constituted by Chief Kapuuo as the most senior person in terms of the customary law, the chairperson of the Chief Council, and also the acting Paramount Chief. So that will be convened, like we said, after the unveiling of the tombstone of the late Paramount Chief. So there's no talk of any nomination. People must ignore all the names that are being thrown around, and people, of course, they will be coming forward, putting their names forward. They are entitled to do that. I mean, it's a democratic society. But the official process will be announced, and then the people will be announced also, or will be informed how the process will unfold.
Well, obviously the process is being drawn out now by all these contestations.
Yes, that's right.
When do you potentially, realistically see this wrapping up?
We see that, of course, the court case will proceed, but that does not stop the normal process to proceed. All that the court case seeks to do is to set aside the other illegal process.
I see.
So it doesn't stop Chief Kapuuo to proceed as with these normal activities of the Road Transitional Authority. So all we're saying is that, look, those people, in case because after that they may want to apply to the minister so that their candidate or whatever will be recognized by the minister as the Paramount Chief. That's what the court will seek to do, so that these people will not be able to do that while the court case is in process. But in terms of the normal process of nomination and designation, ultimately, that will proceed. And like I said, after the 18th of July, once the unveiling has taken place, we foresee that maybe 2 or 3 months after that, that process then will be wrapped up. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to leave it there. Dr. Uazuva Kaumbi, we appreciate your time with us.
Thank you very much, Raymond, and we appreciate also
your time. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you. Bye.